The fishing news is brought to you by Interlux Marine Paint, Maxima Fishing Line, and Okuma.
Hey there, Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine with this week's web video fishing forecast for New England. Well, as you can see outside, it's raining. We got some thunder, lightning in the midst of some much needed rain. I know a lot of the freshwater spots are kind of on the lower side. The rivers are running kind of low, and my garden sure has needed some of this water. So while it may have ruined my plans this morning to get out, do a little chunking for stripers and blues on a boat, we got in some action, but I ended up getting chased off the water. You know what, a little bit of summer rain is always a good thing. So here we go, we're gonna move on into the reports and start off as always in Connecticut, where in Long Island Sound, bluefish really are filling in nicely now. I'm hearing of anglers landing them from shore as well as by boat, with the mouths of the Thames and Connecticut Rivers holding some large fish, as well as spots like the Race, the Gut, and the Sluiceway. And you know, as Captain TJ at Rock and Roll Charters in Clinton put it, if you want to reel in fish until you can't take it anymore, then now is the time to get out and fish. Alright, and then I heard from subscriber Rick Watrous. He nailed a really nice 28.5 pound mahi while fishing out in Atlantis Canyon during the Tri-State Canyon Shootout last week. The fish took top honors as the largest mahi of the tournament and was also entered in the Fisherman's Dream Boat Challenge. So unless there's some other fish that are still waiting, that should move into the top spot. So congrats on that awesome catch. And speaking of the Tri-State Canyon Shootout, the tournament ended up with 80 boats and 146 anglers participating. The total score of fish was 11 mahi, 4 wahoo, 11 albacore tuna, 8 bigeye tuna, and 11 yellowfin tuna entered. Big fish honors went to angler Jimmy Ricciardi aboard the Castafari with a 260 pound bigeye, as I reported on last week. That ended up holding up. And the crew of Something Fishy took the top spot overall with a combined score of 127 points. So congrats to those guys, and you know, it's a really awesome tournament, and congrats to all the guys running over J&B Tackle, and next year should be another awesome event. Alright, moving on into Rhode Island, there's some excellent bottom fishing still going on right now in Rhode Island waters. And got word from the Francis fleet that Christine Blount, the owner of the Francis fleet, even got in on some of the action last week, getting some nice fluke and sea bass. And I'm still hearing of fish being well spread out across Rhode Island, with good catches being made off of South County as well as around Block Island, so there's plenty of fish to be had. And while not quite as good as the week before, word is there's still some bluefin tuna to be had out at the dump. Got word from Mark and Justin Zerker. They trolled up a few nice keepers on a recent run out to the dump. Now it sounds like most of the boats making the steam out are still able to troll up a fish or two, unlike the week before where pretty much everybody was coming back with their 3 fish limit as well as a handful of other released fish. But you know, some of the more enterprising boats on a ride back, they're stopping off either at Cox's Ledge and jigging up some cod to top off the box, or stopping around the wind farm off the southeast corner of Block Island. It seems to be holding some really good fluke right now. Just remember, you can't get too close to the structures, but just outside of it, you're welcome to fish. And then moving on up to Massachusetts, I got word of some really nice striped bass landed off the Cape this week, and we had a reference to a 57-pound striped bass in this week's printed report coming in from Amy at the Sports Port in Hyannis. Word is that there's still a large school of bass around the Cape, and I heard that they even pushed in a big school of pogies right up onto the beach along Nauset for a few days last week, with fish into the 30-pound class being reported. Guys that got in on this said it was sort of like the old days when you know, you'd walk the beaches of the backside down to Nauset and get some really big fish, so that's awesome to hear. And then the other big news is the first shot of bonita hitting a hedge fence and the Hooter area. Reports came in from a few different Massachusetts tackle shops of anglers getting into a couple bonita, and you know, early on when they first started showing up, always get word that one of the better lures to troll is the Yozuri crystal minnows. That always seems to produce some of those early fish before they really start to spread out. Alright, well there you have it. I'm Toby Lapinski for the New England edition of the Fisherman magazine, wishing you tight lines if you head out onto the water this weekend.
The fishing news is brought to you by Interlux Marine Paint, Maxima Fishing Line, and Okuma.